Hello my fabulous book friends, welcome back. Today's video, I am so excited for it. I've been wanting to film this for like the longest time. But yeah, as you can tell by the title, it is my top Instagram tips for Bookstagram basically. But before we jump into that, I just want to show you all this really cool sign that my best friend got for me for Christmas. It's basically my handles everywhere, Reading Maria on Instagram, obviously here on YouTube, and yeah, so I'm really excited about this sign. I just wanted to point it out beforehand because it's gonna be behind me and I don't know if you can see it all, but yeah, this is like the coolest gift I've ever received, so thanks, Nicole. All right, so if you're here from Instagram, welcome. If you're new here, also welcome. Basically in 2019, wrong year. In 2020, oh my gosh, I am lost. But anyways, so 2020 was a really great year for me on Instagram. I started it off with 3,145 followers, and I ended off 2020 with like 17,300 something. 17,400 something. I forget the number. I probably should have screenshotted it so I remembered, but oh well, that's my own fault. But anyway, so yeah, and it was great. I loved building my Instagram, and so many people do ask me for like tips, tricks, things like that, so I figured I'd just make a video about it and give you guys my top tips for creating your own Bookstagram and creating a space that you truly enjoy on the internet. So I've got my trusty notes here and let's just get right into it. So I kind of wanted to divide this into like my general tips and then my very specific tips, just because Bookstagram is a space for fun. Like if you're not having fun on there, then it's really going to be hard for you to enjoy it and grow as well, because it's just going to feel like homework to you. And yeah, so once you get that feeling, you know it's time to kind of like step back and just, you know, take a different approach to it, if you will. So yeah, so that's just like my number one thing for sure. It's like, just have fun, please. Like it's a creative outlet for a lot of us. And yeah, be creative and you'll be fine. So of course, the first thing you'll need is a Bookstagram or a bookish handle. So mine is Reading Maria. I've had that from my blog when I started that in like 2011, something like that. I don't even remember. But yeah, so luckily when I actually started my Instagram in 2016, I believe, when I was in college. Yeah, it was like 2016. Luckily nobody had Reading Maria. So I kind of lucked out like that. But if you have like a blog or like a TikTok and you've got something like specific there, hopefully you can find it available on Bookstagram, and yeah, that would really help you out. So at least people know like, oh, Reading Maria, she's got a blog, she's got Instagram, she has Twitter, even though my Twitter isn't Reading Maria, but that's fine. But anyways, yeah, so like just try, like if you're doing all that social media stuff, try to stay as like on brand as possible. Or if you don't have anything, of course, if you're trying to go into the book community, you want something like reading, bookish, books, like something like that related, just so at least like people know, oh, this is a book account, I'm going to be following this person for books. So on that note, you've got your Bookstagram handle, and now you need a good bio. What is my bio? I don't even know. Anyways, my socials are linked down below. But I know with bios recently, there's been a lot of talk about basically like having those keywords in your bio. So like book reviews, book stacks, book recommendations, like that kind of stuff. I know for sure I have in my bio. Try to include keywords of what you will offer your audience, because first of all, that's the first thing that people are going to see and read about you. And second off, like because Instagram I think Instagram is just trying to become like search engine-y in general. So you want to have search engine words in your bio so people can find you when they look up Bookstagram or book reviews or book stacks, things like that. So yeah, that is something to think about. Even if, like, I know of course this is for fun, but it's just something to think about, just to make sure that your profile is being pushed to people who are looking for specific things. So another general tip for you is be consistent. I know you probably have seen this a lot before if you've looked up videos like this or similar to this, but of course consistency is always key, whether you're posting 5 times a week, 3 times a week, things like that. Like just make sure you're consistent. Of course, the more you post, the more reach you have, the more impressions you have, the more chances you have of being seen by other people. However, if posting every day doesn't work for you, then like, of course, don't, again, this is not a job, this is a hobby. So like, don't stress yourself out, just be consistent. Even if you just post every other day but you're posting in your stories every day, like that's perfect. That's more than enough. I promise you. And my last general tip for you is probably my most cheesiest, but it is the tip that matters the most. And it is just honestly, be yourself. Be your best you online. Just be yourself and read the books that you want to read. Because again, like I've said 100 times already, this is a hobby. If you're just reading fantasy books because a lot of people are reading fantasy and you have no interest in reading them, then like you're gonna burn out. Like, yeah, so it's not fun to burn out. I have burnt out before, and I took a year off of Instagram, or Bookstagram, I should say. So yeah, like I said, I started in 2016 because I was switching my career from wanting to get into editing into book marketing. So I figured I have a book blog, I might as well transfer that over to Instagram. So I did that for almost a year, and then literally from September 2018 to September 2019, I was like not posting at all. I was burnt out from what I was posting, and I just didn't have the drive to post, which is fine. Everybody burns out. Everybody needs to take a break. Yeah, so when I returned, I posted the stuff that I wanted to post. I didn't really tie it too much into my blog because I wasn't as interested in writing blog posts as I was about posting pretty photos on Instagram. So yeah, so just be yourself, write really fun captions that reflect who you are, and just read whatever books you want. If that's every new release, perfect. If that's backlist books, great, because people are looking for backlist books, or just books in general to like add to their TBR, or book stacks if they want to create them. So yeah, of course, the popular books always get more attention, but I mean, if you're known for backlist books or just older books or just like writing really great book reviews, then like it doesn't really matter, because people are going to go to you for that content. They're not going to go to you for the latest romance releases or the latest fantasy releases. They're going to go for the content that you rave about, and they'll stick with you for that. So yeah, so just be yourself. Don't pretend to be something you're not, because just like in real life, that translates onto social media pretty easily, and people are going to know. And yeah, so you want to be trustworthy, and yourself is awesome. You are awesome. So yeah, so that's that tip. 2016 Maria was a disaster, and yeah, now that I've been myself for a while, I like the content I share, I like the book stacks I do, like it's really benefited me for so many reasons. And yeah, so there you go, be yourself. That was a really long-winded answer, I apologize. All right, so jumping into my specific tips for Instagram, this is for you if you're really serious about growing and, you know, like talk to a lot of people about books, because again, like that's what I'm here for. At least I just want to talk to as many people as I can about books. I'm really shy in person, so like at least being on the internet, I'm able to kind of get over that. So, but anyways, specific tips. Let me stay on topic, please. All right, first things first, the algorithm. The algorithm, let me explain it. So my algorithm is much more different than yours. So like my algorithm, it probably gives me book reviews, book stacks, diverse books, because that's like what I search a lot of on Instagram. So the algorithm is based on what you're searching, what you're interacting with, what you're commenting on, liking, sharing, saving, all that stuff. So yeah, the algorithm, when people talk about beating the algorithm, it's basically how you're placed in front of people. However, when there's a change, when people get low engagement, they're very quick to blame the algorithm. And I mean, in a way, sure, like there is reason for that. However, I think that if you do something for so long, it just kind of becomes repetitive. So like if you ask the same questions every day, like how are you doing? What are you doing today? What's up? Like stuff like that. Like that's not, like people are just going to be seeing that every day, and they're not going to really connect with your content as well. So like, yeah, if something changes in the algorithm, you're going to be really boosted down low because people aren't engaging with your content. You know what I mean? So yeah, like the algorithm is basically based on how you use Instagram. So I wouldn't put too much rhyme or reason behind it, because it basically, yeah, if you're getting low engagement one week, maybe you posted too many book reviews one week, maybe you didn't ask enough questions in your post. Like there's things like that that you can really quickly change within your caption to make sure that you're placing yourself a bit higher in that, again, based on people's interactions with your posts. So yeah, the algorithm, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just make sure that your content is engaging and you're good to go. Before I get more into the other stuff, I do just want to take a side note to engagement groups. So I've used them quite a lot, like when I was growing from last year, from 2020. So I did quite a few tagging groups. I had joined thread accounts where like you post the account posts a photo, like and comment, and then all those comments that are under that photo, you kind of go ahead and like engage back with those people. So I did a lot of that to grow in 2020, and it was stressful. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with engagement groups. It's your account, you do what you want with it, you engage however you want, you join whatever you want. Like, it's up to you, like, whatever. You go for it. I do say, if you have the time to do it, yeah, like, do it, because if you want to do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. I will say though that Instagram has changed their terms of service, or they changed their community guidelines really recently, probably a few months ago, and they're really cracking down on them. So when that change was happening, so yeah, we're talking way back in October, but I personally was interviewing for the job that I have now, and I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna have this new job, new hours, longer hours, I don't have time to engage. So I left all my tagging groups, and pretty recently actually I did leave like the main thread group that I was part of, and honestly, like I maybe get 100 less likes, but like, because with Instagram's changing community guidelines, like they're really, again, cracking down on them. So if they notice that you're like visiting the very same accounts every day, like they're gonna be suspicious of you eventually. If they're not, then like, great, like you're playing Instagram. Bravo. Seriously, like, good for you, because I was terrified. Like, I didn't want my account to get shut down just to be gaining like a few hundred extra likes each post. So yeah, so I left everything, and my reach is, now that hashtags are back on Instagram, my reach is pretty much the same, if not slightly better than when I was part of engagement groups. So like, it just depends. If Instagram knows you're part of them, they might just automatically lessen your reach. So they must have known that I was visiting the same accounts every day, because my reach did suck for a long time, even before October. But yeah, so, and even then, like, once in a while I'll get a post that's like, it has like consistently like 1,200 likes, like each time, like 3 in a row, and I did nothing. So yeah. But anyways, if you want to do them, do them. If you have the time to do them, great. But yeah, that's my only advice about those. Only do them if you have the time, because people will notice that you don't engage back, or you take forever to engage back, and they'll get mad at you. So yeah, you don't want that to happen. Also, I feel like this question will come up. Well, when should I join an engagement group? Like, I'd say if you're an account with like 500 followers, I'm talking from a publisher's perspective right now, but if I'm looking for people and for reviewers to review a book, and I see an account has 500 follows, I'll be like, okay, and I'll look through your likes, and if I see you have over 1,000 likes per post, like, I'm like, that's not possible. So I know that you're either part of a ton of engagement groups or you're buying likes. So yeah, I mean, just be wary of that. Like, your likes will never be over your follower amount, unless you're like Kim Kardashian or something. So yeah, just be conscious, or conscientious, whatever word it is. Just be aware of the amount of likes you're getting and the amount of engagement you're getting. Because also, if you're a small account, you obviously have less actions that you can do per hour. So like, there's different rules everywhere if you search the internet, but I would not go over, if you're under 500 followers, I wouldn't go over, let's say like 60 actions per hour. So that means like liking 60 photos per hour. Yeah, so because I'm bigger, I can obviously do more actions, but I don't, because I'm not part of engagement groups, and I've been scrolling through my home feed a lot more. And I've definitely actually seen an improvement with engagement. And that leads me to my next, basically my biggest tip for you is engage. Engage, engage, engage. Like, again, the algorithm is based on on how you use Instagram. So basically, like, my algorithm right now is if I scroll through reels, all I'm getting is like funny dog reels. Like, because that's what I watch reels for, is like just funny content. But like all my other posts that are in my explore page, like it's all books. And I make sure I go through that. I see what people are posting about. I engage with them. I leave a comment, stuff like that. So I've been growing a little bit that way. And also, like, again, if you're going through your home feed and you see people's posts and you engage with them, what I do, because I do work from home and I'm probably going to be working from home for quite a while. So at least I have the time to do this before I post. So usually my posts go up at 3 o'clock. Like I'll spend like about 15 minutes on and off. Of course, I don't like sit there on my phone like for 15 minutes straight. Like I'll make sure that I'm, I've got the app open while I'm working, and I'll kind of like, I'll go through my home feed a bit. I'll go through some people's stories. Then I will post my photo, do whatever I need to do with it. And then I've got my app open. I'm still, scrolling through, I'm still engaging, going through more people's stories, replying to them. And that's really helped my engagement, because if you're engaging with somebody and they follow you, obviously, then, next time maybe they open the app, or maybe they'll go back up to their home feed and refresh, then guess what? Your content's going to be at least in the top 10 posts that they see. So, you just want to make sure that you're just engaging before and after you post. What else? And also, I've noticed the past few days, I've been doing this all week. I've been making sure to update my stories hourly, or at least somewhat hourly. I've been using my features in my stories. I've been using music, polls, questions, things like that. And I have over 17,000 followers, and stories have never done well for me. But I barely get 300 views on my stories. It is embarrassing, to tell you guys, but it's the truth. And yeah, ever since I've been doing that all week, I've been trying to keep up my stories, just updating people about my day. What should I do next? Should I read? Stuff like that. I've had over 500 views on my stories now because of that. So yeah, use every feature Instagram has available to you. Stories, question stickers, polls, the little slider thingy that you can use. Stickers in your story. Make sure you write alt text to describe the photo before you post it. When you go there, I'll try to insert a screenshot here, but when you go to the bottom, there's a little thing that says advanced settings. So you click that, and then you go write your alt text. Just make sure you're using everything. I know a lot of people hate reels, but honestly, they are amazing. They're a really quick way to grow if you make it big. So for the job that I have now, I remember the stupidest little crap, but it helps me now because I'm talking to you guys about it. So basically, I interviewed for my job that I have now, right before Thanksgiving break. So here in Canada, that was early October. It was October 9th or something. And I remember oh my God, I need to talk about my Instagram. So before my interview, I kind of went on there, and I remember in October 2020, beginning of October, before Thanksgiving, I had 13.8 followers, so 13,800. And recently I had just posted a reel about my biggest, my favorite romance wrecks. I'll link it down below so you guys can see it. And literally a week later, so I had my interview the Friday before a long weekend. A week later, I basically had gained almost 1,000 followers because a lot of people were watching that reel. They were sharing it and everything. So, and basically I gained 2,000 followers because of the reel that I'm talking about. And to this day, it's still my highest viewed reel. I think it has 232,000 views or something. I haven't checked it in a while. But yeah, so that really helped me grow quite a bit. And before I started my new job, I had over 14,000 followers when literally just a few short weeks ago, I wasn't even halfway to 14K. So yeah, that was mind blowing. But yeah, so you want to make sure you're using reels, Instagram stories throughout the day. And I know people say what do I post in my stories? Think of it as vlogging. So post updates about what you're doing. post what you're reading. Can I finish this book by the end of the day? Like things like that, I think. And like, just be yourself. Again, everything circles back to being yourself. So yeah, the more you post on your stories, the more people will want to engage with your content. And yeah, the more that you're shown into people's feeds. As you update your stories throughout the day with meaningful content, people like that will be shown at the top of people's feeds. And then when they answer your question sticker, or if they vote in your poll or stuff like that, then they're gonna see your content, because that is what they're telling the algorithm, the Instagram algorithm, of what they like to engage with. So yeah, basically using every feature available. I know Instagram likes it when you do Instagram lives or IGTVs. Even when you go into your insights, if you have a business or creators account, like you will see that there aren't insights for reels, but there is a separate section for IGTV insight. Okay, so my very last tip is hashtags. I know a lot of people hate hashtags. I have hated hashtags recently, I'm not gonna lie, but there is no doubt that hashtags are important with your content, because that's how Instagram kind of shows your post to other people, right? If you have a post with no hashtags, like really, you're basically opening yourself up only to people who follow you or who you see in your feed, because you're not broadening your content out to other hashtags. So basically what you want to do, and this is my own hashtag strategy, I have a Google Excel doc that I update a lot regularly. So I have like a bunch of hashtags listed under a column that says 1 million plus, then 500,000. I think I have 200,000, then 10,000 plus. So yeah, I have a broad range of hashtags listed that I cycle through every once in a while. Like I'll make sure that they're different in every post, which is what you want to make sure that you're doing as well. So yeah, so hashtags, if you're smaller, I would suggest you kind of stick to like the 200,000 and below range, just because if you're like an account with 1,000 followers or even 500 followers and you're using hashtags that have like 1 million plus posts, so like thousands and thousands and thousands of posts using like hashtag bibliophile a day, like you're really leaving it up to the Instagram gods to boost your post in that category because there's so many people looking for content in that hashtag. But if you use something like hashtag cool girls read or something like that, or something smaller, then chances are Instagram will boost your content, because yeah, it's smaller, but it's not as used as frequently, so people will be looking at it. So I highly suggest that you research hashtags. What I do, like let's say I want to post about, I have a coffee and I do like hashtag books and coffee. I'm going to go with the hashtag books and coffee, see how recent the posts are, and if they're recent, like they always are, then I'll make sure that I post about it, and I'll see what the top posts are. I'll probably try to stick with posts that are a week old in that like top post category, and I will see what hashtags other people are using and then research those hashtags, click on them, kind of try to build a strategy around that, because if this post with a simple book and coffee is a top post, well, what hashtags did this person use to get in this top spot that I would like when, as things refresh all the time? So it is time consuming, I'm not gonna lie. Like I spend at least 10 to 15 minutes coming up with my hashtag list for every given post. However, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but more often than not, at least now with the state hashtags are in, I'm on the explore page a lot more than, like, people find me through the explore page now a lot more than they find me through hashtags, and usually it's always been flipped. But yeah, ever since the United States election and like the hashtags being taken away from Instagram, that did ruin my hashtag reach. It still isn't perfect, but I mean, yeah, like I get more views now because of the explore page, and because I am using those hashtags that other people use, and my own list of hashtags that like I keep updating and everything. Like I'm just doing that to make sure that my content is placed in the best possible light for people to find and engage with me, because that's all we want. We all just want engagement on our posts, and yeah, so that's how I get it, at least. So yeah, I have it written down in my notes as hashtag for your life. So that's my final bit of advice for you. Also, just a side note, if the camera has been moving, I film on my phone, so like it's just my camera app keeps crashing on me as I'm filming this, so I keep having to like turn it around, push the record button again, and turn my tripod back around. But anyways, so yeah, if this angle has slowly been like moving, I'm sorry. Anyways, so the last few tips, because people have asked me about them specifically in my DMs, is how I edit my photos. So I basically use Lightroom, and I have a filter from a Lightroom related app. I forget what it's called, but I will say the app down below. So yeah, I use that, and so I crop my photo and I apply my filter in Lightroom. Then I have Snapseed where I'll put like my watermark. So if you look at my posts, maybe not my most recent ones from when I've had that obvious filter change, but like you will see a very faint Reading Maria there. So at least when people steal my content, I can report them and prove that I'm the original photo holder, because it happens way more often than you think it does. And by the way, don't steal people's content. Like, if you're gonna repost their stuff, make sure they're tagged in the photo and you have it as like the first thing in your caption, like the little camera emoji and @Reading Maria or whoever you're reposting the photo from, because it's the nice thing to do and nobody likes thieves. Anyways, so yeah, so I will, after Snapseed, then I'll throw my post up in the preview app, which I love because you can like kind of move your posts around. Although I do enough planning in advance that like I'll make sure my backgrounds and my, like whatever I use as my backgrounds and my books, like I'll make sure ahead of time that they're, like that they'll look good, like in my head at least. Like I'll make sure that it's all kind of straight, so at least when I do put it in preview, I really have to make like final executive decisions to move things around. So yeah, so that's how I plan that content, and that's how my whole like from taking my photo to posting it kind of works. So yeah, so there's that. And then just arcs. Let's just talk quickly about arcs. So of course, with the pandemic, publishers are moving more towards NetGalley and Edelweiss. I guess if you're in the States, maybe, I don't know, I've never used it. But yeah, definitely be open to digital arcs, because a lot of like, it's changed. Like there's too many, it's just so much up in the air with like printing books and sending them out and stuff like that. So make sure that your NetGalley is up to date. So yeah, so I am on the other side of NetGalley because I work at a publisher, so I approve requests on NetGalley all the time. Make sure your bio is updated. Make sure you have links to your profile. Don't just link goodreads.com. Like, link your profile page on Goodreads, so that way when I look at you, I can see where you're talking books on. So yeah, include all your links. Goodreads blog, even if your blog isn't updated as often as you'd like, I'd still include it, because that would be an incentive for publishers to say, oh, he or she has a blog, like perfect, this is great. You know, like you're active in the community. You just want to show publishers on NetGalley that you're active in more than one space than just Goodreads or like Instagram. So like, you know what I mean? Like, make sure you have all your links. Even if it's not an updated website, just put it in there. It's fine. And I suggest even in your bio, talk about, pitch yourself in your bio. Don't say, you know, like, I've been reading all my life, like all that stuff. Everybody's been reading all their lives. We're all book lovers. What makes you stand out? And I would go look up Berkeley and go check out their requirements, and you write your bio based on their requirements, because they do ask for like amount of Goodreads followers or friends, Instagram insights and followers, things like that. So follow what they do, follow what their requirements are, and put that in your bio, because if they want it, other publishers will be looking at it. So I don't think, because it's all mostly digital and it's turning more digital now, you don't need a lot of followers like I probably would have told you to wait and like request at 1,000 followers. But at the same time, if you have good engagement for your following, like if you have engagement that makes sense, so let's say you have 500 followers or even like 300 followers, and a publisher, you know, like you're talking about them with arcs, send them your insight. Get a business account or a creator's account and get your insights and send it to them. And when you email them, either a publicity email or maybe you have the publicist's name, I don't know. Usually it's the general publicity email that you want to look for on a website. Email them, give your insights, your full mailing address, and hope for the best. And if not, just request it on NetGalley. Even if you're starting out on NetGalley, just go for the books that are available to read right now, so you don't have to request them. So you do have that percentage, but like I said, for me anyways, as somebody who approves requests on NetGalley, your percentage doesn't matter. What matters is if you've requested books from me before, if you've reviewed them, and if you talk about books other than just on Goodreads. So yeah, just make sure all your insights are on there. And once you have it written on NetGalley, you can literally just copy and paste that into an email for publishers, because that's what they want to look for. All right, that was a long and tiring video. I need to go read now. But yeah, so basically, I think I gave all my tips, at least what's helped me in the last year to grow. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, it's never about numbers. It's about the community you build and about the engagement that you inspire from other people. So like, that's all it is. Like, just engage on the platform, be active on the platform, and you'll be fine, honestly. Like, it's fine. You'll do okay. You'll do more than okay. You'll do fabulous. Don't worry. Yeah, so basically, just to wrap it all up, make a bookish related handle. Make sure you have keywords both in your bio and actually also in your captions and hashtags, because Instagram is more search engine-y now, or they're trying to be more search engine-y. Consistency is key. Be yourself, please. Like, that's all we want from you, is for you to be yourself and for your audience to be able to connect with you, because that's how you're going to build an audience, is if you're able to connect yourself with people. And don't worry too much about the algorithm, because as long as if you create engaging content, then you'll be fine in the algorithm. Even when you do have those little dips in engagement, it happens, it's fine, don't worry. Engage and use every function possible that you can use on Instagram, and that's not only now but in the future. Like, I don't know, whatever the next thing is after Reels. I know it's guides, so yeah, after guides then. Whatever the feature Instagram comes out with next, you want to hop on immediately, because they will push that content first, because they want you to use it, and you should be using every feature that Instagram has available. Hashtags. They are important. They might suck in terms of reach, but I mean, just don't use the same hashtags in every post. Switch it up. Be aware of the hashtags you're using. Make sure you get a good range of like 200,000 to like the lesser ones. So yeah, I hope this made sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but of course you can always leave a question in the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer you, or DM me on Instagram, or comment on my photo on Instagram. I would be more than happy to answer you. I am here because I love talking about Instagram, and it's basically my job, and I can talk about Instagram all day. So yeah, so on that note, leave a huge thumbs up, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, please, and I'll see you for my next video. And have a great week. Go back to reading.